Most nights, I'm sure I'm dreaming. I think we do dream, but I don't really remember it. I had an interesting dream last night and the night before. And so there were two parts to the dream that I had. Not this morning, but when I woke up yesterday. And now I've already forgotten one of them, which is why I need to record this before I forget the rest of it. So, I think that I dreamed about the ocean and waves and things because I saw a YouTube video of someone who said they were Archangel Gabriel. I don't know if this is true, probably not, but maybe. You know, a lot of people do channel. They might be channeling the actual angel. They might be channeling a demon. They might just be making the video. You know, but the content's pretty good. Anyways, I don't agree. We are not God. We are not God. God is above us. But anyways, this guy's video, he had a good girl. He had an ocean in the background with the waves, and I think that's why I dreamt this. Oh, um. So I remember like it was nice and sunny and being on a beach and seeing these beautiful blue waves like in the main ocean part, and just walking like calmly there, and then going into like a room. So this was still on the beach, but it was like this glass building. Kind of like what you would see at a theme park, but this wasn't a theme park. It was really luxurious, high end. It was not like an amusement park. It was like a big glass building, and yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep here in a minute, but I gotta record this first. It was like a big glass building to where you had large windows all the way around, so you could see the outside. And so there were waves outside, the ocean was outside, the sand and shore was outside, but inside this glass building there was also the same, like ocean, and there was waves and a beach inside of this enclosure, which was huge. So it might have been automated, it might have been mechanical, or it might have been just the ocean itself. I couldn't tell. But inside this enclosure, there weren't a lot of like waves that would come in. The water was usually still. And I was only in there for a minute. So I was outside walking. There were some other people. I can't remember what happened. Then I went into this glass building, and there's people in there. And I thought there was someone, like a woman I talked to. She was maybe an acquaintance. We weren't like close friends, but I knew who she was in the dream vaguely. Or maybe I didn't know her, and just in the spirit realm, we just know who people are. That could have been it too. Because we weren't close or anything. Yeah, she could also have been a stranger, and just spiritually I knew who she was, and she recognized me. And there was tables, like round tables here. It was the side of this room where the shore was, like the waves were on the other side, and we were on the side where the shore was. And there were round tables set up. And I normally don't drink. I only drink like once or I had a drink twice the last year, because I got an alcoholic drink at a restaurant. It was like ice cream and alcohol, and it hardly had any alcohol. And before then, I hadn't drank in like 15 years, so I'm not a drinker, and I didn't get drunk. So that was just for some enjoyment. I thought I would try it, and I don't. It's not a sin, but to be drunk all the time is anyway. So I'm like. I was told or shown that they had alcoholic drinks there, and maybe they were like in stem glasses of wine or something, and so I normally don't drink, and this is very weird for me to get a drink, but I did, I'm like, oh, I'll take one or something. I didn't say it, but I thought it, and then I had the drink, and then I started walking away from the table towards the other side of this glass building. It was just huge windows, so you could see the outside. And then everybody was kind of happy, and they saw big waves coming. There were big waves coming, and normally there weren't waves, so it must have been just like a special thing that the waves were coming for the people inside, and they were happy. And then I took my drink and I continued to walk a little bit, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably be fine inside of this enclosure and to drink my drink. And then I noticed the wave was getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, well, I could hold it up. And then it looked like it was going to be over my head. I'm like, oh, shoot. And people were happy. And I remember, like, it's something that you might be concerned, and I was a little concerned, but then I remember not really being stressed. And it would have made sense for the wave to go all the way over and ruin my drink. That's probably what would have happened. But I didn't see what happened. I was just walking and I'm like, oh, my drink's gonna get. But then I didn't get that calm. And the next thing I know, I'm still there in the same place. The wave has passed. I don't know if I have the drink or not. I guess it's disappeared. Maybe I drank it. Maybe it got sucked into the waves. And then everybody was just calm and standing around, and they were happy. They were kind of like a little smile from the wave. Um, I don't know if you guys have been to a theme park where they have wave machines. So something like that. And I have no idea what happened to the drink. I guess it wasn't important. It wasn't important. But it was like it was like as soon as I finally got a drink, which I like never drink. I only drank like twice in the last year because I was at a restaurant and someone else was paying. And like, I want to try this ice cream alcohol drink. So I got it. But anyways, I don't drink. And so the fact that I got one was like, the point was not to get smashed. It was like a glass of wine. And then I got it. I'm like, okay. And I was kind of happy to have it. And then as soon as I got it, there was no wave the whole time. And then as soon as I got it, then there was a big wave. Then I don't remember what happened. Like, and I was fine, and I was okay, and everyone was fine, and I wasn't stressed out. But then the drink was gone, so. Um, and the woman was like an older woman, maybe like one of my stepsister's mothers that had died. I don't know. It not necessarily was her, but it reminded me of her. Like, she was older than me. I think she had red hair, and she was kind of upper class, but not mean. She was nice. We were different, but we actually could talk and, get along. But it was just like one or two sentences that were, maybe, yeah, one or two sentences that were said, and then I got the drink and went along my way. And then I don't remember the other part of my dream. There was something else, and it was important, and I already forgot it. So then I woke up. I woke up this morning, and I think this is some test from God, I don't know. As some things happen in the spirit realm, and they don't happen on earth, but they're part of our test. So, I remember it was something like Thanksgiving. It wasn't like, how at Thanksgiving or Christmas you get together with family and have food and stuff. Well, I haven't got together with family and had food in a while. It's been quite a while, because I've been in isolation, and I left them behind because they were trying to destroy me. But anyways, I still didn't care, but, whatever. Anyways, I would think it'd mostly be like Halloween. Or not Halloween, like Thanksgiving. It'd probably have to be Thanksgiving. It'd probably have to be Thanksgiving, because it wasn't like, if it could have been Christmas, but then I didn't remember seeing a tree or gifts. That's what I'm saying. And I think it was a little colder. So, like, other relatives and my mom was there, and my oldest daughter, I remember being here. And so I guess I went to a relative's house where my mother was there, and it was probably something like Thanksgiving, or if it was Christmas, there was no tree and no gifts or anything. And my oldest daughter had come with me. Now, we weren't really talking or anything. That wasn't the point. Like, it's like, this is the knowing that I already had for the moment in time that I was. So then there was this long table where you would sit and, like, you could have a plate of food or something. And so I was sitting there, and I was maybe looking at a puzzle or something, like from a newspaper, something like that, and I was doing it. And then I remember, like, there was macaroni or something that was already made, And then I put like some on a plate and I gave it to my daughter, and I put some on a plate. I think I gave it to my daughter. There wasn't much, but like I remember we weren't hungry. We weren't like really hungry. Like there was like maybe a couple snacks or just some macaroni and like another snack. There was a lot of food. But there was some food and no one was hungry. So and then I was just looking at my paper. I wasn't talking with people. I wasn't interacting with people. I wasn't talking to my daughter. I wasn't talking to my mother. I just put some food on a plate and like I think I gave this to my daughter and I put some and I gave it to myself. And I wasn't really paying attention because we weren't that hungry. It was just like a snack. And then I was looking at this puzzle or whatever it was, and I wasn't paying attention. Then my mom comes up to me. My mom comes up to me and she starts like getting on me, um, saying how like why didn't you make something like she was being really mean and accusing me and like why I didn't make any food and I didn't get any food for my daughter. I didn't feed my daughter or something like. So it was this accusation that I was starving my daughter again, and why didn't I make her any food and get her any food and like this, and she kept going. Even though I did, it wasn't a lot of food, but I got some of the macaroni, put it on a plate, and gave it to her. I think this is what happened, because we weren't really hungry, and it was fine, and it wasn't that much, but it was something. And then she comes at me like, you didn't make any food, like she was saying I'm starving my daughter, who is not starving, but anyways. And then I turned around, and she was being really mean and yelling at me. And I turned around, and I don't remember what exactly I said, but something like, you better stop this right now. I think I was yelling, I was very firm. So I've never spoken to her this way before. And I said, you better stop this right now. And I think I said, or I'm going to leave and I'm never going to come back. Or, see, I can't really remember. But it was either leave or something like that. I said, you better stop this now. And like I was just like very firm with her. And maybe that's what I needed. Because she was accusing me of starving my daughter and not feeding her again. And then, we got there, just put a little bit of food on a plate, and then was looking at my puzzle. Not really paying attention. Out of nowhere, she comes and accuses me of this. And then I turned and I was like really firm. And I was like, you stop this right now. And I gave her an ultimatum. And then I woke up. And so I was just more aggressive. And I don't know if I said if I never see you again or I'm not coming back again or something or something else. This is why I can hardly remember this dream now and I have to record it. I'm like falling asleep. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. That's pretty early for when I normally go to bed. But anyways, so then I woke up. And so my mom Jezebel was trying to get me. And if I didn't react properly, then I guess I would have been guilty for not feeding my daughter, which I did feed. But I didn't make the food and I didn't put a lot on the plate. I just, like, we weren't hungry. I just put like a portion on there. And then, and she could have got her own, she didn't even ask for it. I don't remember anyone asking. But that's the thing, this demon comes up, accuses you of being a bad mother, and stuff like that. So she was just trying to attack me, and then I immediately turned, and my voice was very loud, and it was mean. Like, I had a mean voice, like, you stop it right now, like, so I never spoke to my mother that way. And then, it's weird, is I went to Facebook today, because I posted a couple videos on there. Not these ones. I posted a couple guitar videos, and, I think that the people that look at your content are shown first in your friends list. And my mother was the first one showing up in my friends list. Now, I haven't been clicking on her profile. I did like a week or two ago or something real quick. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I have just been going... Actually, no, I don't think I did. I don't go on Facebook and scroll usually. Sometimes I go on there and I share something, and then I see the reels, which are these videos. And I don't really look at what other people are doing. I'll go on there and I might scroll down for a minute and see whatever pops up. and then watch some videos on there. But she showed up as number one on my friends list. Normally she is not number one on my friends list, as I don't click on her page. I don't comment on any of her posts. She's always sharing like posts of her other daughters, I guess, to make me feel bad. But I know I can tell in the spiritually, that they're working for the other side right now. Hopefully they can repent. But anyways, it doesn't make me feel bad, but I just don't really, like, I think I'd be disobedient to God if I sat there and I looked at everything, maybe once or twice a year I'll check it out, but I don't, I'm not doing that. So I just posted the video, and yeah, she was looking at it, but so were other people too. Other people on YouTube were looking at my video. But she was showing up as number one. So I had this dream with my mother. And then when I went to Facebook after this dream, she showed up as first. So possibly she was really interacting with me in the spirit realm. And then went to my Facebook page to see if anything had happened or if we were still friends or something. I don't know. But just engaged with my content or looked at my profile. So I think if she looked at my profile, then she would have showed up as the top friend. I am pretty sure this is how it works. And no one has told me that. I've just noticed it. Is that I think the people, when they click on your profile or they comment, then they get boosted up higher on your friends list. So I wish I could remember more. But it was a pretty cool dream because I was just sitting there minding my business, not really talking to anybody, looking at the thing, not being rude, keeping to myself. And then there was already some pre-made food, put a little bit on a plate, and then looking at whatever I was. And then she just comes up out of nowhere. It says, why didn't you make any food? Didn't feed your daughter. And at this point in the dream, it's kind of funny because she was like 18 or she's 19 now. Anyways, this is kind of funny. That in the dream, it wasn't funny. In the dream, I knew what it was. Because they all tried to set me up and have me arrested or in trouble with CPS for not feeding my children, which I always fed them. But there's a period of time where the narcissist was poisoning us, and we didn't have extra food. We just had the right amount because we were poor. So they never went without. But there was one period of time that they were slender, and this wasn't because of that. It was because the narcissist was poisoning us. And then that was for a short period of time, like less than a year. And he got Guillain-Barré from the poison. And then let's see what else. And then, yeah, I made balanced meals, and I tried to make really healthy meals with no GMOs and everything, with like the right amount of protein and vegetables. But this was used like to try to say I was starving them, because they didn't. I didn't give them like fast food and the unhealthy stuff at the store. So, anyways, so it was this again, that same accusation, and this time I got right up in it, and I immediately turned, and I'm like, you stop it right now. Like, you better stop it right now. So maybe that put an end, and those accusations are returned to sender. Maybe this is what I saw in the spirit realm. Because that was used against me. It was also used to cause friction between me and my children, for them to claim that I didn't feed them because I gave them healthy food. And I couldn't give them more. They had enough, but I couldn't give them more because we didn't have enough money. So I had a budget to work with. Anyways, yeah, that's my dreams. This sounds nuts. So anyways, I think that this was a defeat of Jezebel, just me standing up for myself. But I was really surprised at, like, maybe this is how I need to react to them. Because I normally would just say something. But no, I didn't jump up. I didn't jerk. I was just sitting there like this, and then she comes like standing next to me. So I'm sitting at the table. She comes like next to me, like here, like she was already on that side, but a little further away. Then she comes a little closer, and then she's getting on me and yelling at me that I didn't feed my daughter. And then I just turned, and I said, "You stop it right now!" Like even louder and meaner than that, though. So that was cool. So maybe Jezebel is returned, is slayed. I don't know. Okay, thanks for watching.